Welcome in, everybody, to the first 2026 episode of Scarves and Spikes.
We're back.
Tyler, Sydney, Henry here with you guys. Tommy will be joining later. He has got the flu that is going around working, I think, everybody, it seems like. So he'll be chatting later. We have Atlanta United news, rumors, transfer, everything else. We've got a lot to cover. This is going to be a busy episode, but it's going to be fun. But with that being said,
Happy New Year.
gentlemen.
Welcome. Good to see you guys again.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Since last year.
I know. There it is. The not since last year joke, but
I see you. The beard is growing along with the dad jokes.
well done, Henry.
It's part of the process.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. I like it.
No, good to be back with you guys. I mean, it's been a long time, like Henry said, since we've gotten together to talk Atlanta United. And Tyler, as he said, Tommy's going to be joining us a little bit shortly. But yeah, as he said, needs to talk about from Atlanta United. Off season is underway, preseason, not too far off from starting. Things are gearing up. Things are gearing up here, guys. And yeah, let's chat about it.
It's gonna be fun. I kind of feel like personally, I know it's a psychological thing, but that switch from December 31st to January 1st was like the moment that I just felt like, all right, 2025 was freaking awful, but it's finally in the past. Like, even though it was like 5 seconds ago, it's finally in the past. We can finally forget about Atlanta United's 2025 season. We can look forward to things to be excited about. There were already signings and rumors and things happening. We have big news to talk about today. I'm sure there's going to be more because of this big news being the catalyst. We'll dive into it here in a second. But yeah, I mean, it's just nice that 2025 is over with. I'm so happy.
26 can be worse than 2025, right?
Oh, knock on wood right now.
We've had this conversation.
Sydney, knock on wood
before.
right now. Don't you start right now.
Technically it can, but I mean, it can't be much worse than 2025. Let's just hope we win more games. Is all I'm asking.
Here's the thing. If you win more than this,
more than 5 games.
So yeah, we'll get into it. We'll definitely drop the promos and everything else in a little bit. But again, reminding you guys to go visit Atlanta2026worldcup.com for all your World Cup news, as the World Cup is on its way. That is the other big thing, which kind of happened the moment that the clock struck to midnight. We're in a World Cup year. It's crazy to think about. The World Cup is coming to our city.
Wow.
In a few months. It's wild. So
insane.
All right. So let's start with the big one from today, right? Like, because in my opinion, this is the catalyst to me, in my opinion, that could propel the rest of Atlanta United's offseason. You have Brøndby and Danish side Brøndby coming out that BARTOSZ SLISZ is on his way out from Atlanta United over to this particular Danish side. Is this, I think, Sydney, you wrote in the article on scarvesandspikes.com, the second biggest transfer that they've ever had.
Yep. Second biggest transfer in club history for Brøndby. Yep.
3.5. No. Yeah, 3 million. Atlanta signed him for 3.5 million.
Yeah, 3 million euro, but I think with the conversion rate and all this, 3.5 million. But yeah, I woke up to the news. I'm sure you did, Tyler, Henry, and then you kind of working the sources will say to confirm that this is a thing. Of course, Tom's reported it. Polish media has reported it, and Scarves Spikes definitely confirm on our end that BARTOSZ SLISZ is soon to be a Brøndby player. $3.5 million US transfer fee. Again, as Tyler said, second highest in club history. But yeah, I mean, like you said, Tyler, this is like the first domino to fall, really, in this offseason. Of course, we have incoming players. We had incoming players, and then we'll dive into that just a little bit later. But I feel like this will really precipitate more moves for Atlanta United, especially outgoing moves, but incoming moves as well. You know, you have still some holes to fill in your roster. Now you have some money. Now you have some cash to play around with. With SLISZ, you kind of break even, which, okay, but you have some money to play around with. And now you can, I think, guys, really get going with your season and hopefully bring in players that can help you in 2026, guys.
And really quick, Henry, before you hop in, most importantly to me, the reason I call it the catalyst is because this opens up cap space.
Yeah.
You didn't for.
That was the big problem, right? I mean, we were told when the offseason began that there's almost no cap space. We need to see some outgoings before we really bring anyone in outside of using, the U22 mechanism or homegrown.
Your name's in Miami,
right? We saw Santi Pizza being signed to a homegrown deal, which obviously doesn't really cost anything. Homegrowns don't count against the cap. The draft, obviously, drafting Enzo Dovlo, that's not going to count against you a whole lot, at least. And then the U22 rumors, which were Baez, we'll talk about him a little bit later, and then also Thomas Jakob, sorry, starting the language. But yeah, now with this, BARTOSZ SLISZ, he was on, if I'm not mistaken, about 870,000 guaranteed comp, which is significant. That is a TAM contract. That is a significant amount of cap space. And so moving on from him, first of all, opens up an international slot, which isn't a big deal because you get international slots like freaking bread at a bakery. But, the cap space is valuable for Atlanta United. And, we were talking about it in the Discord. You're very likely to be able to get a player of similar quality, if not a little bit better quality, at a reduced price, and you still open up even a little bit more cap space potentially for a starting left winger, which I think is the biggest priority at this point. Or Tata's looking at this midfield group and saying, I'm kind of happy with this. I mean, I'm kind of looking at the depth chart here, and you have Alzate, who I rate pretty well, even though he look, I got the Colombian bias, but also I saw some good stuff from him. He made his mistakes, of course, and I think he's a player that people are a little bit divided on right now, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that it was just a really crappy time to join a really crappy team. Jay Fortune, he was class before his injury. The question is how he comes back. I think he's going to come back well. He's going to be able to rebound, but between him, Riley, Muyimba's kind of a question mark because he's one of those players that like last season, at the tail end of last season, we're like, he has to be a buyout, right? Because he's not playing well. But I think there's a lot of players on this roster that you could be like,
pick your pick.
Well, yeah, but also the whatchamacallit, the downfall, kind of the downgrade that a lot of these players experience. Pedro Amador is an example, and several others that just in 2025 regressed a lot compared to previous seasons. Muyimba is one that I remember we were super excited when he joined. Even in 2024, he wasn't as bad as he was in 2025. So that's kind of my thing. And then Cooper Sanchez, who has showed some promise, but is probably not ready for MLS level yet. The point here is the midfield group looks solid, and Tata might be looking at this and saying it might need some tweaks, but selling SLISZ, we will be fine. We could probably replace him or get something similar and then cover our biggest need, which is the left wing.
And that's the biggest thing, right? Like at the end of the day, somebody had to go. Maybe more, right? Like, but the U22 spots, just to kind of lay it out for everybody, in case you don't know, the U22 spots take up minimal cap space. So what little Atlanta did have, you could squeeze a couple of U22s in there because what you acquire them for, what you're paying them, that doesn't equate to their exact cap hit. It's minimized. So they could squeeze in those. And I'm glad they're using the U22 spots. I really am, especially under Tata Martino, because he's had a pretty good track record of doing things with them. So I'm cool with it. I know there's there's some kerfuffle about like the positions that they're being used on. That doesn't matter to me if they come in and at least one of them plays well beyond his years. I'm okay with it. I don't really care how old they are. I mean, look at Thiago Almada.
Right.
Now, granted, we knew he was like a phenom coming in, but still, like, age is not a big concern for me. But when it comes to SLISZ and maybe bringing in guys that obviously aren't going to fit in the U22 roster mechanism, you had to get rid of somebody. And that's just the way it had to be. So with SLISZ on his way out, like, look, I think the question popped up higher up is like, why? Yeah,
there's a market. There's a market for him. That's why.
He said
you can't sell players that no one wants.
Yeah, right.
And
does he fit Tata's system? I think
that's the thing.
Can say that.
Jack's saying,
right.
I don't get why he saw out most consistent player last season. I agree. He was definitely the most consistent, and that doesn't mean he was perfect. He had bad giveaway. He had a tendency for some bad giveaways, though he started to clean that up. A handful of things, but like the dude left it all out on the field. You can at least give him that. Yeah. And ultimately, I just think like if Tata looked at this roster and said, out of everybody that has to go, the midfield, I can work with it. You have to do what you can do. And to both of y'all's points, like you have to find a team that wants somebody. You can't just dump them, right? You wouldn't use a roster like a buyout on a BARTOSZ SLISZ.
No,
there's no way,
because you can sell him,
right? So, and there was one other comment I think from team saying like, who says Slish wanted to stay after last year? I will go back to an article that I've mentioned it over the past year, but it was a Polish article and it was an interview that they had with Slish back before the season started in 2025. And he implied, he came out and said that his dream is still to go back and play in Europe.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't that he was making Atlanta. Atlanta was not his Madrid or his Barcelona. This was it was still a stop for him. But I think he probably would have stayed longer had the past 2 years not gone the way they did. But ultimately, I mean, yeah, you had a guy, his consistency is honestly what allowed him to be moved on from.
Maybe that's why Miami are sending all these players and classifying them as U22s. That's my theory.
I have a lot of theories about Inter Miami.
Don't get me started, man. Let's not start that because that could take up 2 episodes.
MLS Monday.
No, but I mean, all the best to BARTOSZ. Tyler, you said it. Sort of the best of the worst of a really bad 2025 season, and he wore the badge, as Henry you like to say. Never questioned his passion. Never questioned. I mean, not the most technical player, but yeah, all the best to him in Denmark, and all the best to him guys too. With the World Cup coming up, Poland have to go to the UEFA playoff, so all the best to him. I know a lot of Atlanta United fans will be rooting for him and Poland to get to the World Cup.
By the way, Juan Scarves and Spikes MVP vote for 2025, despite not being on the ballot, which to me is just a massive flex. But yeah, good luck, BARTOSZ. Go kill it over in Europe, man.
Yeah, and I know his family will be happy that he's back because that is one of those things. The family doesn't always travel here, and BARTOSZ had a lot of change. He had a lot of things happen while he was here. He got married and had a baby, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I mean, that was all within a couple of years. So like, I know his family is excited that he's at least coming back a little closer, but yeah, all the best to BARTOSZ. And I will always remember the emotion, the passion that dude, especially in Leagues Cup in 2024. Man, I felt for that guy so much, but I was like, man, at least the dude cares. At least he cares.
Was his daughter born in the U.S.? Do we know that, or
was she? I don't remember.
I don't know.
I mean, if she was, she's potential U.S. women's national team player in 2020. Oh, not 2020. Something. 2050. Yeah, 2050 or something.
Sydney's over here playing the long game.
Yeah.
Kind of like with Dansby and Mel's kid.
Yeah.
Future Atlanta NWSL player.
That's right.
Yeah. Hey. Will it into existence.
So, all right. So that's the big one from today, right? Now this hasn't been made official yet. We said all that. Sources have said that this is happening, but this is not an Atlanta United official thing yet.
Yeah.
That being said, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So we move on, and this is kind of going in like reverse chronological order, but the one that happened, it was kind of the Christmas present to everybody, I guess, was one Tomas Jacob from Mexico, coming in from Mexico, from Argentina originally. He's a U22 signing, $5 million. And I know that's been kind of the part that people are like, what?
Yeah.
Again, I'll throw this out there and then I'll let y'all dive in. I don't care how much this team / Arthur Blank pays for a player. I don't. It's not my money. Now, I would love Arthur Blank if you would like to throw $5 million my way. But
he's got to pay a coach for the Falcons, so
yeah, I know, right?
But I mean,
you
he's
got a lot
still
going
money
on
to
the other
burn,
side.
though, regardless. But
But no, I mean, what matters is the roster mechanism and the cap hit. That's all it comes down to. And this is, again, I mentioned it a minute ago. It's a U22, so the cap hit is minimal. It lets you fit Tomas in at a minimal cap hit. So I'm good with it. And I think after watching, a handful of video and things like that, and we've had lots of discussions in the Discord, I don't see a problem here. I think there are pros and cons, but I think, you need somebody. That's one of the positions you need. It's not the biggest need, I would argue, by any means, but it's up there, and you need some competition there. So, but hey, that's an official one. So that one we could sit here and talk about all day.
You mentioned the cap hit, Tyler, and Jacob or Jacob is turning 22 in 2026 later on this year. So I think the cap hit, I'm just looking to fact check myself. Yeah, 200. No, that's not it. I was going to say $200,000. Yeah, $200,000. So as you said, a minimal cap hit for him. And then for ages 20 and younger, that is $150K cap hit. So again, it's a minimal budget charge if you're Atlanta United, and keep those numbers in mind, because we'll get to another player who's been connected to Atlanta United here in a moment. But yeah, it's a minimal cap hit and it's a risk. Yeah, but if it pays off, you're not on the hook for a lot of money. You're not having to, well, you can pay them a lot, but it's only going to cost you $200,000 against your budget, because that stays in. Go ahead.
I was going to just add on to that. I was going to say that U22 designation, that's not just a this year thing. That will last for a couple of years, essentially, probably
25
until they turn 25, right?
Yeah, and that's the point it's going to make.
Santiago Sosa was a similar one that was in that same boat. The dude looked like he was 35, and yet he was playing on a U22 contract.
No, but that's the point it's going to make. So yeah, it's a minimal cap hit, and you have some flexibility as far as that's concerned. Now, you mentioned Henry earlier. You need international slots. I'm not worried about those. You'll get those. You'll have one freed up with BARTOSZ SLISZ going to Brøndby. But I mean, you have to ask yourself, with the news of Jacob, where's it? Jacob. We'll get it right. Jacob or Jacob. Yeah. With the news of Tomas Jacob coming in, he can play guys in several different positions. We assume he's going to be a right back, but he can play center back, I believe. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. He can play defensive midfielder as well. So he's a very versatile player. Again, I think he's going to play right back. But now you have a couple of options at right back. You have Jacob. You have potentially Matt Edwards, who could fill in for you in a pinch, I guess. But and sorry, Gray said in the chat, Slisz doesn't have an international spot. I forgot.
Yes, that was my mistake.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah. No. But yeah, no, if your answer, I think, at right back, you have Edwards, who can fill in pretty decently. I mean, you have Ronnie Hernandez, who, further we get away from things, it's not likely he'll re-sign with the team. That's just my speculation there. But yeah, you're set at right back. Now you just have to see how he performs. And can he pass muster for Atlanta United?
Yeah, and look, Tomas Jacob, just kind of a quick look at him and kind of some of his numbers. He looks, if the idea is for him to be a right back, which is kind of the assumption at this point, I think it's an interesting signing. I'm intrigued to see what the vision is from Tata here, because I mean, I have to assume this is a Tata guy. He's a Newell's Old Boys alumnus. So that's definitely the Tata connection there. But he's definitely a very solid defender. You see him, his tackling is strong. He's tall. He's 6'2", so he's going to be good in the air. The problem that I see is when it comes to actually going forward and contributing in the final third, because his final third numbers, you look at that and they're not very great. As far as assists, he's 31st percentile. Per 90, 0.00 assists. So let's just start there. Shot creating actions, 41st percentile. It's like, it's not good, but his defensive stats are great. Like they're pretty good. Okay, so in that sense, it makes sense. He's also young, so at what it's like 21. He's like 21 years old.
Yeah,
you still have he's still, I guess, developable, moldable a little bit by Tata in that sense. So I guess he can try to imprint a little bit of that in him. So
I want to hit on that too in a second.
Yeah, and he's a defense first fullback for sure. And the same is true with Elias Baez, who we're going to talk about in a minute. His defensive stats are rock solid. It's his offensive and his going forward that raise question marks. And
which is why you need wingers.
Kind of a deal, because Tata, he emphasizes a lot of creativity from the wide areas. And back in 2017 and 18, his teams were all about sending the fullbacks forward and adding width to the attack. That's where you saw, Greg Garza and Franco Escobar and these guys getting forward. So I'm wondering how they're going to adapt to that, because they're going to have a greater demand here with Tata. Tata's going to want them to add that to their game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm curious, but yeah, the versatility is certainly a factor. You have Juan Berrocal, who his loan expires in June. So at the very least, if he doesn't get renewed, you at least have Jacob who can fill in for you as kind of a stopgap when that happens. We talk a lot about Stian Gregerson being, made of glass. If he goes down with an injury, you have someone who can fill in for him. So that's good to have. Yeah. And then obviously someone that can fill in at midfielder, but I don't see him playing a whole lot of defensive midfielder here, because you have plenty of others that can do it. So yeah, it's an interesting signing for sure. The first U22 signing since Edwin Mosquera back in 2022, by the way.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see kind of how that goes. But yeah, I'm in trust Tata mode, because he did pretty well the first time around. I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt here. I'm just waiting to see what we see from these guys in preseason.
And that's kind of the thing. And it was mentioned earlier. We'll definitely be discussing the preseason schedule here in a little bit too. Team said we just need to call him TJ, which might be the way until we get an official pronunciation. But no, I think there's two things about this signing that kind of, and as we discuss it, they kind of stand out to me. One is, and I put it in the article on ScribersandSpikes.com, but like, Tata has made it clear just since he's been back in Atlanta the second time that he values, and this might be very cliche, but he values players who can play in multiple positions, as any coach would, right? Like it sounds kind of stupid to say out loud, but you have a lot of coaches that will say, oh yeah, he can play here and there, and then they don't, or when they do, it's a freaking disaster. And so going back to what you said, Henry, trust Tata mode. If this kid steps in and, he can primarily play right back, he can primarily play as a center back, he can step up if needed to possibly play as a 6 and a break glass in case of emergency type situation, I'm good with it as long as he can handle himself. And I don't see anything that just stands out and says like, oh, he can't do it. Now that kind of ties into the other thing. What Chris Henderson said, and this was in the press release. So, press releases are very like milk toast, whatever, but like it still kind of stood out to me. He said, Tomas is a talented young player with the versatility to play in multiple positions, and we're excited to watch his development continue with Atlanta United. And that final part of that sentence is what I want to see a lot of going forward. I mean, and I know Tommy, when he gets in here, probably going to rant about this, but over the past few years, I struggle to name a single player that has gotten better since arriving at Atlanta United.
Well, Slisz, but
did he get better though?
I don't know that he got better. He won 4 titles before he came here, and then he, I mean,
I think it was just
argue with that.
consistent.
Yeah,
I think that was the thing.
Yeah, consistent.
I mean, other than
at worst, very
I will say
consistent, but
homegrowns, I feel like have gotten better. Like
Okay.
Jay Fortune, one
Brennan.
that is developed.
but came up through
Luke
the
Brennan
pipe.
has come up, but yes, I see what you're saying.
But that's what I want to see. I want to see, you have guys come here from overseas, from another continent, from another country, and then they get here and you're so hyped about them. And then it's like, what happens? I don't want this to be the club that becomes known as a place where players kind of become stagnant. Right. And I fully expect like Slisz will leave and probably get right back on it. And that's cool.
No.
But I want to see, these U22 spots, and let's just use him as an example. Tomas comes here. Again, Newell's old boy alumni. Like he has very much got a connection to Tata Martino.
Yeah. He
comes in. He has some rough edges. Same thing we said about Edwin Mosquera. Put $1 in the jar. I want to see when and if Tomas moves on. I want to see him as a far better player than he was when he arrived here. Period. Because if that's the case, then Atlanta's in a good situation. I just don't want to see these players come in and just kind of settle anymore.
Yeah, and I think the opportunity, Tyler, to develop under a legendary player for Newell's and someone who's managed the Argentine national team and Barcelona and all of that was appealing to Jacob. And I feel like that was part of not the reason why he came over, but part of the reason why he came over. Same thing with Miggy when he came, in 2017. The opportunity to play under Tata was appealing to him. Now Jacob, who is a young 21-year-old, who I'm sure his parents, or I'm sure growing up, his parents told him all about Tata Martino, what he meant to Argentine football, and all of that was appealing to him. And he says, "You know what? Let's go. Let me go to this project that Tata's built or building in the United States, and let me learn under one of the best players, really, in Newell's Old Boys history, a club legend, like I said." So I'm sure that's a massive part of it. And we joke about let it becoming kind of Newell's junior or whatever, but no, there's definitely credence to the fact that Tata is one of the best players who come out of there, and young players are looking to really play and learn under him and develop under him.
I mean, Tata said he was going to bring in kind of this stronger core of Latin American players. And he praised, I remember in his introductory press conference, that was part of a lot of what I asked him, because it was a massive pattern in his 17 and 18 teams, was a large group of South American players, and also what he called kind of a vertebrae of American players. Which I guess is ironic because there's not really a whole lot of American players that would be in the starting 11 of this team right now. But yeah, I mean, you kind of get what he's saying. And this is kind of one of the steps towards that. You start to see that influence take a little bit more of a hold. And I remember that he said he values that a lot, because these South American players, these Latin American players, they come to MLS seeing it kind of as a stepping stone for them to Europe. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, if anything, they're more motivated. And he said that's why a lot of the most successful teams in MLS have a lot of Latin American players. And so you see that influence start to take hold. I think it's also going to create a bit of a tighter culture for these guys. Another point of emphasis for Tata was building the team around Miggy. Well, you're giving him a lot of guys that he could probably understand fairly well. So yeah, I'm interested to see kind of what this looks like. I'm going to jump the gun on this a little bit, but players are supposed to report. Players are supposed to report back Saturday, which is the 10th, and then the 12th, which is just Monday. That is kind of our first open availability, media availability training session of the year. So we'll get our first look at that, and then we'll be able to also, I assume, talk to Tata about how he's seeing things going with the group. So that's kind of one of the things that I want to talk to him about, is these fullbacks, assuming the Baez thing gets done. If not, I'll just talk to him about Jacob. But kind of the idea of these guys and how they make his vision come closer to being true, I guess. Because again, to me, these are two wingbacks that they don't fit in a Tata 2017-18 system from my point of view right now.
Right.
But they're young enough to where you could get them there, right? We're talking about guys who are 2-3 years away from their prime. So I don't mind it. I just kind of want to see the vision come together.
Yeah. And I think kind of to add on to that, I'll go back to one of the things that the front office was really excited about with bringing Miggy on again in the first place last year, which was you have a dude that, and look, we can talk about Miggy's and the entire team's 2025 all day. We've done it all year. But one thing that every one of us can attest to, seeing him at training and everything else, is there's not a harder working guy in training in the locker room. Like that guy will go and go and go. And that was the point, right? Like Garth said it back then. They wanted a guy who was going to elevate everybody around him. Now you start bringing in young guys who have certainly heard of Miguel Almiron for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously playing under Tata Martino, you get, I think, if scouted correctly, and again, trust Tata and Chris, that you have a handful of guys here who potentially will come in and they're going to feed off that. And going back to my whole development thing, I think you've got a recipe for success here. Now it's just a matter of executing it. So I'm very curious to see, like you said, Henry, Monday comes, let's kind of see where everything's at. And then, and we'll get into the preseason schedule here in a little bit, but one of the thing that I asked Tata in that opening press conference was like, how do you make this offseason successful? And one of the things that he said, the main one was, we have to have a good preseason. And you got to get guys in, but you can only get guys in as fast as you can make it happen, right? Like this is a machine, and sometimes it doesn't turn very quickly. With the Slish thing happening, that makes it so maybe you can start hearing, hopefully, some more rumors and news coming sooner than later. But at the end of the day, if you get some of these young guys in, get them integrated with the team, get them integrated with Mickey and Latte Lath and whoever else may happen to be here, that's going to be the biggest thing, because it's that culture that needs to be developed and at least started to get set in before opening day.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting preseason schedule, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, I like a lot of what I saw, and I mean, you all saw it, but we'll go a little bit more in depth a little bit later on about the preseason slate for Atlanta, including a tournament, guys, where
AmFam Cup lives.
Yeah,
it lives on Spirit with a cowboy hat on top of it.
A first ever tournament, an inaugural tournament. We'll get into that a little bit later, I'm sure.
Yes, indeed. So I guess I'm going to go slightly off script here. I'm going to skip one. We'll get back to them. But in the spirit of sticking with a similar position, let's talk about Elias Baez and this rumor. We've talked about it a little bit, but the reports being that he's close to signing from San Lorenzo, around $3 million, another U22. And the reporting has been kind of freaking wild on this one. It's been very back and forth. Like there's a verbal agreement. It's not happening. I don't know. There's just so much going on with this one. But this is one where I say, if it happens, this is, again, U22, but the kid, he plays well beyond his years.
Yeah.
What do y'all think?
I'll say this just quickly. Last time Tata brought in somebody from San Lorenzo, he turned out pretty well, didn't he? If I remember correctly. So you have that going for you.
Tata.
Yeah. Hashtag trust Tata.
I mean, for me, it's kind of insert the same I said about Tomas Jakob. He's a defense first fullback. It's interesting, though, because left back probably wasn't the position you looked at this roster and said, yeah, that's the one we should use a U22 slot on. But here we go. Look, he's a top fullback down in Argentina in the first division. The report is that the fee is around $3 million, which doesn't seem bad. And again, for a U22, it's not a big deal because it's a minimal cap hit. But yeah, I mean, I think it's exciting. He's young. He's going to be able to grow here as well. I think once you see that press release, it's also going to talk about his development because that's certainly a factor. I think, defensively, he looks solid already. I think if the most that he has to develop, the biggest thing that he has to develop here is that attacking and what Tata wants to see of him really going up the left side and improving his crossing and generating a wide threat for Atlanta.
Yeah.
Again, this all depends on how this team lines up. More of how Tata sees the roles of these players. But yeah, as far as Elias Baez, I'm actually kind of excited to see him. Because as a player that Tata looked at and said, yeah, we have one more open U22 slot. Let's use it on this guy. So yeah, let's see.
And then quickly, I know we got Tommy waiting, but quickly, what happens with Pedro Amador? Of course, you have him at that left back slot. You bought him at a free, so anything you sell him for or trade him for will be a return. Do we see Atlanta trade him within the league? I mean, his contract, I believe, guys, isn't a massive budget charge, so
No.
you could be able to swing it in league trade, or you get some GAM, or a transfer to maybe a club in Europe, maybe a second division club in Europe or something like that. So I would like to think that Pedro Amador's time with Atlanta United is running short, based on the fact that you have reportedly Elias Baez coming in. I know I pronounced his name wrong. Got the emphasis wrong, but Baez, reportedly coming into Atlanta United. Because of Amador, I think that'll be something to talk about here in the coming days and weeks as we wait for this to become official.
Yeah, I like the move if it happens. Again, this one's not official yet. Just Alexander asking in the chat, is the Slisz transfer official yet? No, it is not. It's not Atlanta United official. Let's put it that way. But yeah, as we get Tommy in here, I think for sure this is one I'm excited about, and I'm not upset about a U22 spot getting used on a fullback, on another fullback. I think if it's, to me, this is an investment. If you can, as we've been saying about both of these guys, bring in a kid who clearly people in charge who know a lot about the game have pretty high ceilings. If they can come in and be developed, then look, at minimum, it's a business decision. And then in a couple of years, they do develop, and then you move on from them. You make some money, and hopefully keep the same mindset going forward. But worst case, you've brought them in, and maybe they don't do exactly what you need, but you filled in a couple of needs,
right,
that you only could have filled in by using these slots. So, with that being said, as Sydney does the Irish goodbye.
I have to fix my ring light, by the way.
Oh,
go ahead, bring Tommy in.
Oh no,
Tommy, I haven't heard you rant since last year, and he's gone too.
There's a little bit of a lag when you hit this button, so I'm only there. We go. Welcome, Tommy.
Hi, Tommy.
Hey, Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year. How are you?
Getting over whatever I've got right now.
Sorry.
I should be on my way to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, but unfortunately the flu bug hit our home, and I'm not going to be able to see my Oregon Ducks play at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. But I will be there in heart, and that's why I am wearing this today.
So you are on the tail end of it, though, right?
I am. I didn't know how long I was going to be able to talk, so I figured I'd come halfway through. And my teen was yelling at me because I was listening to you guys in the shower, and then I went, "Wow, Henry's got a good beard going on." She's like, "Why are you yelling about Henry's beard in the shower?" And I'm like, "You got to see this thing; it's great."
Have you got the beard care products yet, Henry? I asked this before Christmas.
I actually haven't. I know. I'm procrastinating on all this. It's been kind of wild.
You don't need it. You don't need
it. Yeah, I know. I've had family. I was in New York, by the way, for like a week. That was fun. New York, DC. So yeah, I haven't actually had time to do any of that, but I will at some point in the near future, before this year is over.
We got time. You got plenty of time. Tommy, what do you think of Atlanta's off season so far?
Well, it's funny you say that, because I talked about it yesterday, and then the Slisz news came out, and I said, the vibes are just not here this offseason. And I went back and thought about last year, where we were at this point. And last year it was, okay, we haven't signed anyone big, but we know that we have 2 DP spots open. So the fireworks are going to be coming at some point. They came. We got 2 big players, and then the season was absolutely terrible. Absolutely horrendous.
That's really good.
And maybe that's a good thing here, is that there's not too much craziness going to happen here. But the BARTOSZ SLISZ move was bittersweet, because as people said, like, you talk about the last couple of years and players playing for the badge, you could see how much losing affected him, about
Yeah.
how much when this team lost, it hit him hard. While we could say that some players out there, maybe or maybe not, we got cameos from them for our Christmas show, didn't really seem too involved at times, that what they used to be there. So when you take a player away, and I understand that he might not have fit the Tata mold here for what Tata wants to do with this team, it's still sad when you lose a guy that obviously fights hard no
Yeah.
matter what happens. No matter if you're at the bottom of the table, whether you're in a playoff game against Miami, an unexpected playoff game against Miami, eh, it's sad to see that that player goes. And look, you guys said it before, you got to subtract to add here. And you're hoping that they take this money. You're hoping that they go and they get an effective winger that is going to be able to make this offense better.
I hope so.
Pierogies don't
But you-
go with Asado. I'm just saying. Doesn't fit together. don't have
Tata
those
said
names.
Spanish or vanish.
Ironically,
Funny you bring up pierogies. So we have this little area where I grew up in Parma. It's big about pierogies, in Polish area, and they had a pierogi drop at midnight.
oh,
That's amazing.
They shut the street down,
That's
and it was the absolute dumbest thing I think I've ever seen in my entire life. And people were asking me, like, do you want to go to this? Like, they're going to have fireworks. Well, there was so much snow on New Year's that they couldn't even do the fireworks. And then it's just this little pierogi drops, and there's like nothing. There's no Katy Perry playing afterwards. There's no craziness. Sorry. This is what
We used to go
happens
to the
when you bring me
Chick-fil-A
on.
nugget drop here. That was pretty cool.
There's a
Nugget
possum-
drop?
There's the
They did a
possum
nugget
drop in Tallapoosa, Georgia.
What?
There's a possum drop. Did you guys hear about
Possum?
that?
Like a live one?
No.
Well,
Why are people dropping all these things?
Would have been more fun.
well, instead of dropping the ball,
Well,
Like
Lady
Man
United
United
dropped
did
the ball
last year.
plenty in 2025.
Yeah, see, there we go.
Perfect transition.
2026, and we're
Somebody
on the
pick that one
same
up.
page. But yeah, it's definitely been oh wow, okay, yeah, someone knows about Parma. That's crazy. All right, well, so yeah, I'm obviously sad that BARTOSZ ended up. Yeah, see, that's where I'm from. That's it's a hit here, and there has to be more. There absolutely has to be more moves, players moving out. And I joked around, like, where are the buyouts here? Because there's probably some players for sure that are definitely don't have that value. Because you were right, Henry. I mean, you nailed it. Like, you're not going to buy out BARTOSZ. When you have a player that has value, you're not going to just go, let's just throw him away here just to make room for the sake of making room here.
Yeah.
But is Miyamba going to be on this team in February? And if
Well-
so, I understand. We talked about this like before the holiday about how hard it is to be an Atlanta sports fan, and let me tell you, man, it's just been hitting real hard in the past like 3 weeks. Arthur Blank got another big hit, fired his general manager, fired his coach. Sound familiar?
Yeah.
Similar, not all the way, but and then Trae Young is supposed to be maybe traded today or tomorrow. Oh man, when is some positivity going to be coming around here? The Braves, they had a manager change. It is a new year, new Atlanta, literally across the board for all the sports teams out there. And the question is, it's the race to who is going to be relevant again. It really is at this point, because all these teams have not been relevant for a little bit here. Who is going to be the relevant team out of these four? Because in Atlanta, the fans follow the hot wave of who is doing what. Guys, remember Mercedes-Benz Stadium, of how it was those first few years. That was a party. It was a party so much you had to check your driver's license at the door.
Jim Curtin.
You had to check your driver's license at the door to get into this party. And now you've got a full opportunity again here to take a stake, a large stake of the fan base, of the sporting fan base.
I thought we were talking about food again. I was like,
you're making me hungry there for a second.
You made that face. I'm watching Buffy and I'm thinking that type of steak. So I didn't know what steak we were talking about there. But like you could get your fan base behind you real quick here, because all four teams just absolutely sucked. I don't know. Maybe that could be Atlanta.
You got Tomas Hakub coming in. Lucas Oyos, we haven't talked about yet, on a free transfer. Goalkeeper. Baez reportedly coming in. Atlanta here in the next few weeks from San Lorenzo. And, as Tyler was saying earlier, with Slisz, it kind of opens the door really to other moves, perhaps. You need wingers big time, because after you loan Ashton Gordon, we didn't talk about that. Ashton Gordon got loaned out to Chattanooga FC. You now have little depth at right wing and left wing. You just need wingers. You need depth at attacking midfield behind Almiron, because if you don't have any of those things, or maybe the starting wingers on either side, if you don't have that, I mean, you're screwed in the attack even more than you were in 2025. So, people are freaking out saying, where are the wingers? I mean, there's still time. I think the only concern is, and Tyler, you kind of hit on it earlier, can you get them here during the preseason, get them acclimated to the team, and get them, really going before the season hits? That's my main concern. And I think Chris Henderson and Tata Martino recognize that, and they're working on that as we speak. Just because we didn't hear about it or don't hear about it doesn't mean it's not happening.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add that from my understanding, the club is looking to move on from Tristan Muyumba, Saba Lojanice, and Stian Gregerson this window. They're trying to find moves for them, which will be a challenge, especially for Muyumba and Saba. I was sorry, I lost my train of thought.
You have the buyout for two, technically, potentially.
Well, yeah, you could use one. Well, you have two buyouts. Here's the thing. Here's my thinking, right? If you can find a move for Saba, which is probably the most marketable, Saba or Stian, because you could technically probably find a move for Stian. He's a good defender. He's just always injured. Defender. Exactly. He's just always injured.
Yeah.
And that liberates a significant amount of cap hit. Saba, he kind of had a stinker this year, but who didn't, right? Last year, not this year, last year. And then Tristan is the one that I just think that'll be a tough sell for anyone, because he was bad.
Yeah, it's so frustrating.
So yeah, that's the thing. I mean, if they can find moves for these guys, great. If the idea, and we don't know this at all, if the idea is to move on from Alexei Miranchuk, any move on from him, even if it's a transfer, will most likely require a buyout to liberate his DP slot, because he is on such a big contract that there's probably no chance that anyone's taking that. And you would still have to liberate that budget charge using a buyout. So at the very least, I think, if the plan is to move on from Alexei Miranchuk this year, you have a buyout tied up there. So that's probably one buyout if you're getting rid of him. The other one, I guess you could use for one of these three that you cannot move on from for some reason, whether it is Stian Gregerson or Muyumba or whoever it is. But yeah, I would probably, like, if they can move on from Stian Gregerson, I think he's the one that's earning the most out of those three.
Yeah.
And then you liberate a significant amount of cap space that can help you even further, combined with what you're getting from Slisz.
Yeah, and you have to remember too, Stian and Saba both technically came in as DPs, and then they were bought down and things like, there were some things that had to happen. So yeah, the roster hit, the cap hit is significant. But they're both marketable, right? Like there are thousands of clubs out in this world, and many of them could use a Stian Gregerson, and many of them could use a Saba for sure. Are you going to make money on them? Probably not. But I mean, Atlanta does have this weird, strange habit of somehow taking a guy that probably they shouldn't make money on and making something happen, at least break it even. But I don't know. If you can make those moves, that frees up a ton of room. And then all of a sudden you're looking at, the gates could open. So that's the biggest thing. Because I've had people messaging me and asking and, like talking to sources and things like that. And I know you look at clubs, and I'm not even going to say Miami because that's a different world entirely. But you look at other teams that are making these moves, and it's like,
that's like Wyatt Leonard stuff going down there in South Florida.
Right. But it's like, why can't this be me? Like, where's it at? But
you don't want to gamblaunder.
Yeah, open up a laundromat officially. I don't know, man. I think though you could see a significant amount, and it'll be late in the preseason, but I think you see some significant moves before the season.
Late than never.
What's that?
Do you keep Saba?
Probably not.
If you have a move for him, take it.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. I have to say better late than never to Tyler's point. But yeah, if you're able to do something with Alexi, that opens up another world of possibilities because now you have a DP slot, and now you have to think, hey, what do we do with this DP slot? Where can we get better on this team? So again, this is speculation and none of it's written in stone, but I mean, Atlanta's far from done, and anyone who thinks Atlanta is done, or they're going to try out, the roster as is in 2026 with barely any wing depth, barely any attacking midfield depth, is lying to themselves or delusional or pessimistic.
Saba's on almost $1 million salary. Like if anyone offers like a peppermint milkshake at Chick-fil-A for him, I would take it.
Even if you're selling a loss,
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Because you at least get the cap space. And look, here's the thing. We've talked about it. Arthur Blank, I know it's not my money, but dude's got cash. I don't think that hurts him as much as it would hurt one of us. You know what I'm saying? So like, sure,
$1 million would hurt me a lot.
Exactly. So that's the thing. Like, if you take a loss on Saba, okay, whatever. You could still go and buy yourself a replacement. Like that's not a big concern. Also, keep in mind the windfall you're probably getting whenever Botafogo decides to pay for Thiago Almada, which is another story, by the way.
2029.
But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I'm not concerned about taking a little bit of a loss. Like, you're taking a little bit of a loss on Bartek. $500K, I think, is the loss-ish. It's not that big a deal.
That's
take a little bit of a loss on Saba.
Even,
It doesn't matter. You're freeing up your cap space. You can build a better roster. Just do it, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, and Mark says it perfectly here. I think Saba would very much be a Tata kind of player. Okay, moving him if the right deal's there, but if not, I'd be okay with them trying it and seeing what happens here with him, and even Tata getting a little bit of preseason time with him and seeing if he thinks that this is going to be a fit. Is it a confidence issue? Was it just that the team was complete crap? I don't think a player can go from, I was going to say from 100 to 0, because I don't think he was ever going 100. But I mean, I think that he was pretty damn good there for a while.
100 against Tata Martino's previous MLS team.
No kidding.
Yeah,
Saba hated that team. Tata hated
absolutely.
Saba.
I mean,
Well,
I would
Saba
love to
hates
be able to
Tata.
see. I would love a redemption
Doesn't
story.
bode well for him. Does Saba
is it,
speak Spanish?
Is it the Atlanta VIP account that like tells you about the former players?
Yeah.
Like in what they did. Like I look at that every time and see a player that leaves Atlanta United and then see their stats, and I'm like, oh, here we go. Here's
Alex
Pity Martinez scoring 4 goals. If he stays and there's a turnaround, I think it'd be really cool. But man, you got 2 and a fourth years with Tata. I'm gonna call that season a fourth. I don't know if that's actually what it is, but I'm gonna just keep calling it a fourth of a season. The craziness that's gonna be next year, March Madness, whatever it's gonna be.
Yeah.
You really need to maximize your time with Tata Martino. Tata Martino's not coming in here to rebuild this team and to be like, well, you know what? We didn't get the spork, but we only finished 3 points outside the playoffs. No, he's looking to make the playoffs and make a run.
Yeah.
Here. Now, you say that this roster hasn't changed as much, and that's where I'm just curious here is how much are they going to change in this window? I mean, obviously, you're going to need to be able to get more out of your DP players that you signed last year. Miguel Almiron has to be able to perform. Latte Loth has to be 5 times the player that he was last season. The player that we saw that first month that he was here, not anything after that. We need to see the player that was here for that first month, not the burnout that happened afterwards. So I look at Alexei Miranchuk and saying, well, okay, if Miggy's playing the 10, I don't want Alexei on the wing. I don't want him another part in the midfield here. We need Tata Martino is about scoring goals. He is about attacking, fun watching soccer. And I don't think you are maximizing this roster with him on here. So that's how I'm going to feel about this, unless they show me something in the preseason here that says they could get them all 3 DPs on the field and it work out here and have a cohesion amongst all of them and be able to attack. And obviously right now your winger spots are empty. So if you pass over there, there's no one over there to really take the ball anyways here. No offense, Luke and Saba here, but you need to get some quality MLS starters in that position to be able to do it. But I'm not going to freak out. It's January 7th. It's only January 7th. I know it's January 7th, and it already feels like we're 150 days into this year, but they need to make some moves here because I saw the preseason schedule, and I saw the what was it called a preseason tournament?
Torneo de Tejas.
Yes.
Guys, we need to win that. We absolutely need to win that.
Where are we going to do our show if we win?
Well, first off, yes, absolutely. If we win this tournament, we are not going to Waffle House because this is the Texas tournament. We will be doing it at Texas Roadhouse. And that will be a promise here. But man, like, do you get like, do the winners of this tournament get like a golden like belt buckle, or do you get like a hat?
Come on.
Yeah.
Like a cowboy? I've never worn a cowboy hat my entire life, guys. I don't know if I could pull it off, but I'm excited to try.
Buddy.
Look, I've been walking around with this thing in the car, at family Christmas dinner. At New Year's, he was at the hibachi table. This dude goes everywhere with me. I take this thing seriously. So if I could get a cool belt buckle or a cool cowboy hat, hell yeah, bring it on.
Get
here.
ready to learn. Yeehaw, Tommy.
You need to bring in the best of the best for these 4 games. All right. There is no AmFam Cup anymore. There's nothing there to be able to do this. These 4 games, I am all in. I am all in on this preseason. I am not kidding. I am ready to party. Yeehaw. I'll ride that bull. I will eat that bread with the Texas Roadhouse cinnamon butter. I will do whatever it takes for us to win this tournament. Let's go.
So what do you guys think about the schedule?
I mean, do you want to talk through it real quick?
By the way, you play Michael Bradley's Red Bull New York. I think it's called Red Bull New York now, not New York Red Bulls.
I hate that team even more now that he's over there.
Out of New Jersey.
I'm assuming to line them up with Red Bulls, other clubs around the world.
So do you just boo him for 90 minutes when he comes to Mercedes-Benz Stadium because he can't?
Whenever he
touch the
stands
ball.
up on the technical area, that's when you boo him.
All right, just checking. I need to make sure I understood the rules.
Every time he moves around. So to lay it all out.
Every
really
time he
quickly,
breathes.
Yeah.
January 30th, Atlanta United playing Lexington at the training ground in Marietta.
Yeah.
That's at 11 a.m. That will be streamed. And then there's a little bit happening before that. They're actually down in Miami first for training because I guess Tata wanted to go to the beach. I don't know. No, facilities down there, different facilities. It's part of just getting that culture implemented, get away from the city, get away from the state, not playing games. You're just hanging out with the dudes. So that happens. January 30th, Lexington. Then you have the trip out to Texas, February 7th against Dynamo at 8 o'clock at Shell Energy Stadium. And then February 11th, a couple of days later, against the aforementioned energy drink out of New Jersey team at noon at Toyota Stadium. And then Valentine's Day against FC Dallas at 1, also at Toyota Stadium.
By the way, first time they've played Houston since 2019 in any competition, by the way.
Wait, really?
Yeah, no, it's true.
Didn't we play Houston like a couple years ago?
No.
Wasn't that when Luke Brennan like baited one of their players into a yellow card? Am I misremembering?
So that might have been. Are you thinking of Caleb
that was
Riley?
a Texas team. I don't know if that was Houston.
Huh.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's the first time Atlanta United have played the Dynamo since 2024 they played. I lied. I'm sorry.
Okay.
They played 20.
They got destroyed that time you're talking
Forget
about.
what I said. Forget what I said.
That was the 2018 year they started against them. It got wrecked.
What, 5-0 loss?
4-0, 4-1. I was covering that match, by the way.
Hey, so if we lose to Houston 4-0 in this tournament,
hey, there you go.
no, we gotta win it. I don't care. I don't care if we lose the rest of the games this season. We gotta win this preseason tournament.
Yeah.
Getting some silverware somehow or another.
I reckon we gonna win this.
My goal is to be at the February 11th game.
Yes.
Those games, as of now, I don't think they're going to be streamed. So my goal is to at least be there for one of them. Try to give you guys some updates, coverage, let you guys know how it's going. Was down in Bradenton last year for that, and that was before things fell apart. But this will be an interesting preseason. I mean, we're so used to the Chattanooga or the Birmingham or whatever, down in Tampa, and this is a far cry from that. So it is good. Somebody brought it up, I think, in the Discord, but it's nice because you really need to get out of your comfort zone because you're opening this season with 2 away matches.
Yeah.
So if you can lock down some away matches and then handle business at home, you're in the playoffs. It's that simple. This league is not hard. You just need to go win a few away games and win your crap at home.
Hold your horses.
Atlanta United 2025.
There's a team of 20 DPs.
Last.
I'm well aware because they didn't handle business, Tommy. They didn't follow every step that I just laid out.
They called off like 85% of the year. They're out of PTO days, bro.
You make it sound so simple, Tyler.
I'm in LA now, and you know how difficult that gets.
Just win all your games.
Yeah, it's not hard, guys.
34-0-0.
Let's go.
Calling it right now.
The trophy for this should be for Scarves and Spikes to add this. This guy could get a Woody as his friend.
Oh, okay.
The cowboy. Hey, I knew you were going to take it that way, Henry. Grow up. As the new mature member of Scarves and Spikes for 2026. I don't appreciate whatever dirty thoughts came through your head because I am the new mature person. But
welcome.
There will be a Woody trophy if we win, and bread with cinnamon butter. Oh man.
And cowboy hats.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man. And we could all tell our servers that it's our birthday at the same time, and we could all go yeehaw on the little horse. Oh man. Oh.
You remember when people were like popping in after we did the Waffle House stream, and they were like, they actually did this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then we got the one review on iTunes that was like, I don't give a shit about your order.
Right.
You spend too much time on your order. It's like, dude, you showed up to the one episode where we're all eating food at Waffle House. Like, go watch any other episode. The next one. Why is that guy shaving his beard while there's an MLS person on?
Yeah.
Man.
Well, this was fun.
Yeah, it certainly was. First episode of the year. I think we're starting strong. We didn't mention the website or the store or socials. Do we want to do that now? Probably be a good idea.
Yes. So
Because we got a recording coming up after this.
yes, we do. That's what I wanted to jump on. So Patreon, lots of benefits, but patreon.com/scarves and spikes gets you in. We got a couple of different tiers. Every tier will get you into our Discord. And then again, all the benefits are listed from there. For some of the $5, $10 members, we are getting ready to record essentially an AMA, a bunch of questions. And there are a lot. So we appreciate all y'all. Omar, MVP, you dropped a ton, and I like that. But no, we're getting ready to go record that. All the questions are pretty much fair game. So that'll be next. But again, yeah, patreon.com/scarves and spikes. Go join up. Scarvesandspikes.com is the source for all of the Atlanta United content, the NWSL 2028 team that's coming. And we also have attached to that Atlanta 2026 worldcup.com, which will cover basically everything as it pertains to the World Cup coming to our fair city. So go check that out. And the shop is also on the website. You can go there, get you some merch, get you coffee cup, hat, hoodie, shirt, beer glass, everything. So just click on the shop up at the top of the website. What am I missing?
Follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, on Blue Sky. Is it all just Scarves and Spikes?
Pretty
Scarves
much.
letter
Just
N,
search Scarves and
Spikes?
Spikes. You'll find it. Scarves and the letter N Spikes at X. Scarvesandspikes.com on Blue Sky. Scarves and Spikes on Patreon. Or Scarves and Spikes on Instagram and Threads.
And Scarves and Spikes on TikTok, where you can see me making videos and stuff. Or you can see Tommy. He made a really cool TikTok trendy video there.
I was so proud of it.
Keeping
Let
up
me
with
tell you.
Gen Z and Gen Alpha over here.
Let me tell you how I figured out how to do that. If you saw my Google history, I would be so embarrassed of it. But I figured it out.
On his own without his kids' help, who are
Kay came home and was like, I was like, I did a trend. I did a TikTok trend. Never have even seen it before. I was like, really? You don't know what it is? No, I've never seen it. I was like, oh, damn it. I was so proud.
Your kid's not on social media enough.
No, they're on TikTok all the time, just not old people TikTok.
No, we got lots of good content coming to all the social media platforms. You know, like we said, Blue Sky, obviously X/Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, everything. So y'all make sure you follow us everywhere and subscribe to the YouTube if you haven't already. It really helps us a lot. Definitely helps us a lot. So it's gonna be a big year, regardless of how you look at it. You have Atlanta United, you'll have news about the NWSL team, and we have the World Cup. So we'll be doing this all year. And then, of course, MLS Monday as well. Y'all be back for MLS Monday when we start that back up as the season gets ready to kick off. So keep an eye there as well.
And also subscribe on iTunes and Spotify if you want to listen to us anywhere, anytime, in your car, at work, on your smart speaker. I think you can also do it. So, yeah, subscribe. Just search Scarves and Spikes on iTunes and Spotify, and you'll be able to find us. Our latest episodes will be right there in podcast form for you. Do we want to do our individual socials, by the way?
I'm at HA Higita on Twitter and then HA_Higita on Instagram.
Tyler, where are you in social media?
ATL Pilgrim.
Tommy, where are you in social media?
He look when he asked that, he was like, "Damn it, what's he gonna say?" I'm Tommy LW. There's no one else there. I'm gonna be playing it.
Okay.
me and Luke. Left
wing, here we come.
Yeah. I'm SH Writes on Next, SH Writes on Blue Sky, SidH.soccer on Instagram and Threads.
Sweet. It's been fun, y'all. Again, Happy New Year. We will be back getting ready to go do a recording over on Patreon, but we will be back. And if anything big drops, y'all know we'll do some impromptu live shows and stuff too. So, but keep it on socials, keep it on the website, and keep it on the YouTube. And we will see y'all soon.
Everyone. Happy New Year.
Word.
It's gonna be a great year. I can feel it.
I mean, a medium year. Medium years.
Medium would be better than last year.
an entertaining year, I think, is something that we could say that we
Exactly.
hope that happens. Because if I spend my, how many Saturdays it is, just going, can we just blow the whistle in a bad way? Sometimes just like blow the whistle. I want the game to win. No, I can't handle the ones where we're in the 45th minute and going, the game's over. The game's over. I don't want to watch it anymore. I can't handle that anymore.
I just don't want to be scared every time the second half whistle blows and I got to sit there with my butt clenched for the first 15 minutes waiting for Atlanta United to concede. I don't want that anymore. Please stop.
I just don't want to go into games knowing that I'm going to be disappointed. Like
Right.
I want to be excited again.
Me too.
I mean, that was really the whole first month of March last year. Was when we felt that.
Like, we're winning MLS Cup, and then the rest of the season happened. We're like, we are probably gonna win the Golden Spoon or Wooden Spoon instead,
Or the Golden Spoon.
Yeah, but we got the
Or the
spork.
Golden
So I
Spoon.
mean,
or the Golden
got the
Spoon
spork.
is-